Well, there are some good things and a lot of bad things. You know, you have 14 penalties. That's playing not very smart football. That's hurting your football team, and so we got to correct that. I thought the offense obviously ran the ball much better. Was very excited about that and what they did there. Getting Jalen out, getting Moose going a little bit in the run game was great to see. We got to be better though overall, and defensively, got to play tighter. We got to get better pass rush, all those things, and so those are all part of it.
Any questions for the student athletes?
Does coaches mention that you guys need to play tighter in coverage? We also mentioned that last week. Where's that at, and why is that 2 weeks in a row the same comment he's making?
Well, personally, I think that we have the talent to play real good tight coverage. You know, we just got to keep building confidence throughout these weeks especially when we get to playing these tougher teams, because they're going to watch and they're going to study and then they're going to come after us. So I think we just need to keep progressing. I think we're all right. I think we'll be all right, and you know, we're good.
Talk about that drive at the end of the first half and something they did or something you did.
In the drive at the end of the first half? Yeah, I think we just kind of fell asleep in the secondary a little bit, because even the coverage was tight. We just got to finish, you know, especially that's something that we talk about all the time is finishing. So it was a little disappointing, but I'm pretty sure that we understand what we did, the mistake we made, and we won't let it happen again.
Are you saying that's more mental then?
Mental?
Yeah, in the end of the first half. Was it a pass?
It really wasn't even a technique mistake. I think that it was just literally just, you know, falling asleep, you know, because no matter who you playing at any given moment, it can be a big play. So on defense, you got to have a mindset that the ball's coming your way every time. And I think we didn't do that on that play, and we paid for it.
How challenging was it to be able to prepare with so little game film
Yeah, one thing about it, we got a great coaching staff on defense. So they were studying, I'm talking 3-4 different teams that the coaching staffs, you know, recently coached before that and things like that. So we kind of had a beat on what they would do a little bit, you know, just off that. But it was a little challenging not having a set, like, you know, things to really study and look forward to, you know.
Martin, you made your way up on the depth chart over the last 2 seasons. You got your first career touchdown. You led the team in catches and receiving yards today. How did it feel to be out there?
It felt great when you put all in that work and finally it pays off and you're on the biggest stage that you could be right now. It just feels great to be out there, and then especially to do it with my brothers. You know, even when I was going away and he scored, I just was happy. You know, just as long as we keep this ball moving, we keep scoring and doing it the Aztec way, that's all that matters. So it was very, you know, I'm very appreciative to it, you know, blessings, and plus, you know, just with my family, my team.
And you obviously, I would imagine as a walk-on, I remember some people saying, like, this might not be the best thing for you. You didn't get a scholarship, but you got out yourself until you are talking to the media. I mean, it's just, how does that feel about that, such a big game?
It feels great, you know, like you said, as a walk-on, you know, you're overlooked most of the time and stuff like that, but I feel like that's all talk. You know, if you're a walk-on, you know, you got to put in the work. You got to be great every day you can. You know, there's no miss-ups, and if you do have a miss-up, you got to move on and keep going, because at the end of the day, you know, all that matters is what you put on film, like coaches say. So you got to just put in your work, and being a walk-on and being able to play and having a press conference, it just feels amazing, you know, finally feeling all that work you finally put in all your life finally pay off and show it on the biggest stage, like I said, that I could right now.
Hey, Martin, talk about the offensive line. They were Jalen and Keenan and everybody was running really well. Talk about the job they did there.
Oh, they did great. You know, those are my boys. You know, Ross, you got Dean, you got Christian, you got Miles, Cade, all of them. Them starting 5, those are my boys. You know, every time I go in there, I tell them, hey, we got it now. You know, we got to keep pushing. Be a dog if you want to be a dog. You know, that's what every time I go in there, I give my little pep speech, because at the end of the day, we all fighting. But in my opinion, you know, they got the hardest job on offense right now. They every play, they fighting in them trenches. And to see it pay off and every running back doing their job, you gotta love it. You know, gotta take them boys out to eat, maybe. You know.
Martin, you've been showing
That'd be a
some
good
progress
idea.
in the spring and in the summer. Did you feel like this moment was coming?
I did. You know, it's more of a, you know, that feeling like you said. I felt it. You know, it's just, you know, never get yourself down, no matter what team you're going with, what team, you know, you could be going second or thirds, but it doesn't matter. You know, it's just as long as you do what you can do and what you can handle, you shouldn't be upset. My dad always told me, you know, as long as you give 100% physically and mentally, you can't be mad at yourself. And every day we go in like that, and every day I go in like that, and it's just a blessing to be out here now.
What did it feel like when you got to the end zone?
Oh, it was amazing. It felt like the heaven gates opened. Finally. Felt good, though.
One of the things the defense has done well for 2 games is get 6 interceptions, 5 different guys. How have you guys been so successful there?
That's just a goal. Like, honestly, we left so much plays out there on the field. Like, we left so many plays out there on the field, and that's just we feel like we one of the best defenses in the nation. So we set the bar really high, and we go out there and we try to execute that. So we're honestly not surprised. We feel like we should have had more, to be honest. So that's one thing we make sure we do, set the bar high.
Martin, can you discuss your style as a ball carrier and maybe compare and contrast it with the other ball carriers?
I would say I'm more of a, I always call myself like a on your feet kind of bat. You know, I like to press you on your feet to see where you're going to go. You know, I like to see where you're going to react. I like to get on your feet because it makes you uncomfortable. So, you know, even when we go against them, you know, like you said, one of the best defenses in my opinion, you know, it's just they made me better in knowing in short steps and short yardage, I got to quick, react. So when I'm out there, you know, when I go against, you know, defenses like this, I get more room. Okay, well, I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. It just makes it easier for me. You know, I've been through the trial, and it's just, you know, this is the real test, and I feel like I passed a little bit, you know. So they.
Compare and contrast it with your fellow ball carriers.
I would say we're not really far off from each other, but I would say, you know, we all have our own little swag, if you get what I mean, our own little kind of carrying, our own little kind of thing. So I just feel like, comparing and contrasting, we all have kind of the same kind of style of running. It's just we're better in different areas, and it just makes us better as a group, as a running back group. So, you know, you really can't pick one and be like, you know, he's got this and he's got that, because at the same time, that boy working on it, and he could be great. You know, it's just like that. We all got the same kind of flow in our game, and it just helps us out as a group tremendously.
Couple more questions, student athletes? No? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Coach, taking nothing away from Idaho State, obviously there were a lot of questions from last year. The 14 penalties, as just talked about, kind of falling asleep there at the end of the half. It could suggest there was a lack of focus, a lack of attention to detail. Is that an assessment that you?
Well, I don't think, obviously, we didn't play the kind of football we wanted to play. You know, kicking game, offensively, defensively, didn't tackle well, didn't do a good job on some late in the half twice. You know, we got to do a better job in coverage. Part of that, though, is we got to get better rush.
Coach, the team had over 300 yards rushing, 152 of those yards in the first half. What factor consistently running the ball at the game?
You got to say that one more time.
The team had over 300 yards rushing, 152 in the first half. What factor consistently running the ball at the game?
Well, I think obviously we did a good job up front, and I think we're making progress there, to be really honest with you. I know we had some penalties that we don't want to have, but I thought, you know, we did some better things. I thought with Jalen and him, with some of the quarterback runs, designed runs, I thought he really hit them a couple times well. But then I also, you know, I liked when he dropped back and nothing was there, and he went through his reads and he felt some heat. I loved that he went and took off, and I thought he ran pretty well. Just like Martin. Martin thought he had a nice night and did a nice job.
Coach, last 2 weeks, it seems like there's been some success in throwing in the middle of the field against the defense. Is that a concern that you guys have? Are you trying to like shore that up or some safety rotation?
Well, I don't know if it's safety rotation. I don't believe it is. I think there are some things that, from a coverage standpoint, that we got to do better. And I think there's some things coverage-wise that will probably, depending on the opponent, we have a couple other things that we'll do that we haven't. And going in to play these guys, we didn't know much, obviously. And so that played a little bit into it. You know, I thought they had two real dynamic quarterbacks. You know, I thought they could throw the ball well. So, you know, we got to play better.
Obviously, the rushing game was working over 300 yards, but the passing game, I think, was at 82 yards. What wasn't working passing-wise today?
Well, I don't know how many times we tried to throw it down the field, right? I mean, I think we obviously felt a little more comfortable with the running game, screen game off of that. So it's just, you know, we've got to take some shots when we get the opportunity. I think we got some opportunities, but then, you know, all of a sudden we get a penalty. And so I think that's all part of it.
How about all the penalties tonight? Anything you can point your finger to, anything in particular? Or?
I don't think so. The lack of concentration, lack of discipline. Some of them are calls that I'm sure I'm going to send a few in that I saw differently. And the one good thing is they get right back to you and at least you get an answer. So I think there's a couple of those. But, you know, there's no excuse for 14 penalties.
Rich, you talked a little bit about Doug Deacon and just the threat that he has. Obviously, last year against the same team, that's when he noticed Jack Bradley, and they had there was also in the first down. There was also tonight, you know, it seemed like you were trying to get Christian the ball, switching the safes, switching the returners. Desmond Lone on the punt. They had another person back there, and it just seemed like there was a lot of intention and prep from him. And that's normal for Coach Deacon, but he just speaking.
Well, it is, and I think Deke does a really good job with with those guys, with the special teams, and you know it's the evaluation process and the execution that goes along with that. You know, you've got a handful of guys, some play offense, some play defense, and trying to grab some of those young guys so they start learning how to play at this level, and I think he does a nice job with that.
Is it unique for a player like Bob Oliver to be in on kickoffs, given that he's a defensive lineman?
Yeah, but he's pretty fast. I mean, he can run. I mean, and we were trying to use him a little bit more defensively because of his athleticism, pass rush wise, and those kind of things. And I think I know he had one not very good performance on the kickoff, but he's been good for us.
I needed a double touchdown to breathe new life in the first half.
At the end, there's no question. You know, you can't give people hope. I mean, you can't do that. And you know, I think they're a good football team, well coached. I know their O-line coach is a guy I coached with at Oregon State. He's a good coach. Cody's father was a really good coach, and I think it will be part of what Cody does, you know, and they did a nice job. I think part of it is the ball comes out of the hand so quickly. And so you got to decide how you're going to do it. We knocked some balls down, which is always throwing or this kind of offense, defending it, you know, you got to count on that. And we did that a couple times, I think 3, maybe 4.
We talked
Well, he's improved, you know, he's understanding the system. I think, both of them are guys who have worked very hard. I think that part of it, and they're respected by their teammates. And I think that all that is part what, makes them special, is their work ethic.
What can you say about Martin perseverance to keep out there with a pretty deep running back room?
He's pretty confident in himself, which is good, in the right way. And he's really a guy who, he talked about his brothers being out there, right, and being with them. That's true. I mean, that is Martin Blake.
Anything else, Coach? Coach Tobin Bell, is he your backup center?
Yeah.
And he's another walk-on. For a program that is blue collar, that is about work, how important is it that walk-ons can step up and put in that work and be able to?
Well, I was a walk-on. And so I really have a lot of, I don't know what the right word is, but a lot of love for those guys. And those guys who want to play, and how hard they work in the weight room and all those things. And we Tobin, is, and between him and Kyle and Liu, I mean, he right now would be the next guy in. But I think that continues every week with what we're trying to do at the second quarterback.
What have you seen from Tobin?
Say it again.
What have you seen from Tobin?
He's a smart guy. His uncle is Norv Turner, and so there's a football IQ in there. I can't remember the high school he went to, but he was very successful. He's got the respect of his teammates. He was unbelievable on scout team last year against the defense. And he's just a kid who really, he's a guy who knows the game, loves the game, and he's a great teammate.
Is that promotion in some way to motivate the scholarship guys, or is that just?
No, it's what it is. And, and the other guys, believe me, they're not bad. And you see them. I mean, they're not bad, But right now, he'd be the first one in.
Can you talk a little more about the special teams? Aren't you being a little bit harder on them? They
No,
handled some low balls. They had the 2 field goals they converted. They got to give safety. What am I missing?
we had a couple punts that, weren't exactly one of Jack's. There were 2 of them that, I really was surprised because of our expectations of him. So, we got to get better there. We got to get better everywhere, coaching included.
Anything else, Coach?
All right.